The Eisenhower Matrix is a phenomenal tool that you as a leader should use to really help you manage your time and your day. So often as leaders, you get caught up with just running from meeting to meeting, responding to email after email, that sometimes it may feel as though you're just fighting the whirlwind and you don't actually have the time to think, to process, and to move your organization forward. And so with this Eisenhower Matrix, you're able to really identify what are those tasks that are really urgent and important that I need to focus on. Now, you'll notice here that with this matrix, there's 4 quadrants. And the first quadrant is those things that are urgent and important. This could be a meeting that was placed on your calendar at the last minute that you have to go talk with some shareholders or stakeholders or some leaders in your organization. This might be something that's urgent and it's important for you to do. This also might be a meeting that was on your calendar for a while and you just failed to prepare for it. And now you're a few hours out and you realize, you know what? I have to get this meeting done. I got to prepare the slide deck. I got to prepare my notes. I'm leading this meeting. And maybe it was just because of a lack of planning or procrastination that placed it in the urgent category, but it's definitely something that you have to do and you have to focus on. The other category is the not urgent, but the important. And these are things that actually move your organization forward. This you want to plan for. You want a time block. You want to make sure that you're actually setting aside the appropriate amount of time to engage in these activities because these are your needle moving activities. The third quadrant or the third bucket here is the urgent but not important. And for this urgent but not important, these are things that you really want to delegate. These are things that you could delegate to your admin assistant, maybe to another team member. There may be emails that are coming in that you actually don't have to respond to, but there's someone else on your team who might be a subject matter expert on this particular area. And while you could respond to it, this is not why you are the leader. You're not the leader to respond to all of these sidebar issues or conversations, but let's delegate those to other individuals who could respond to those requests. And then the last category here is the not urgent and the not important. And these are things that you just need to delete and eliminate altogether. They don't need to be on your calendar and they don't need to be coming to you. Now, a lot of leaders feel as though they have to be the point person for all these requests that come to them. But one question you should ask yourself as you're stepping into your leadership role is, what are the things that only I can do? And whatever's on that list, and I encourage you to write that list down of those things that only you can do, then that's what you do. Another way of looking at this question is if you stepped into a meeting and you saw someone else on your team engaging in a task or engaging in a conversation that you really should be leading out in, what type of conversation would it have to be for you to say to them, hey, I appreciate you taking the lead on this, but that's actually my job. Like, what scenario would you have to find yourself in? What situation would have to arise for you to actually say to someone else on your team as the leader, that's actually my job? Maybe if you're the principal of a school and you see some staff member writing up a faculty member or a teacher, you might want to say, I appreciate your eagerness, but that's really my job. Or maybe if you're a small business owner and you see some of your frontline staff who are negotiating contracts and they don't have the right perspective or the authority to do that, you would probably come to them and say, that's my job. Or maybe you are a CEO of a hospital or a large organization and you see someone on your team chairing your leadership meeting, which you have not delegated to them. You would probably step in and say, I appreciate that, but that's my job. So think about the things that you engage in your role as a leader and ask yourself, what are those things that only I can do? Not what are those things that I want to do, because there's probably many things that you want to do, but as a good leader, you have to delegate those things. So you really want to ask yourself the question, what are those things that only I can do? Now, this Eisenhower matrix is really framed around important task and urgent task. But there's another matrix that I want to introduce you to, and this is really around what gives you life. What is battery charging versus battery draining? And what are those things that actually lead to impact, high impact versus low impact? And so, for example, if you have something that is low impact and it is battery charging, this might be something that you want to incorporate into your day, but not too much of it, because ultimately it's not moving the needle forward. So this might be having lunch with some of your staff. You know, it's battery charging, but the impact, if you're doing this all day, every day, it might not have the greatest impact on your bottom line. Now, the other quadrant is something that is high impact, but battery charging. This is your optimal work. This is where you want to spend 70 to 80% of your work, focusing in on this area. The third area is something that is low impact and battery draining. these things are areas where they are a waste of time and you really want to eliminate them at all costs. And the last quadrant are high impact things that are battery draining. Here are the things that you just have to do, right? You don't like doing it, you don't enjoy doing it, but you know here are the things that actually are going to move my organization forward. And so you want to identify, okay, it's fine if 20, no more than 30% of my job is really focusing on this high impact battery draining. For you to be your best self, it's really about how you manage both your time and your energy. So taking this Eisenhower matrix and then also layering on top of it this new matrix, really helping you to understand what are those activities that I can engage in that give me life and that move the needle, and what are those activities that are both urgent and important for me to do. Let me focus my time on those things so that I know I am moving this organization forward and I'm doing it in a way where I am charged and refreshed as I engage in this work. Listen, I hope this was helpful for you. And if it was, I would love for you to leave a comment or just kind of share with me how you're able to apply these matrices to your own work and to your own rhythm.